My name is Todd Giffen. My phone has been rebooting like crazy, and it only does it here in California. And I started to wonder if I was connected to stingrays. But I'm the target of military radar, and as well. And I think they have the ability to reboot my phone. It doesn't even fully reboot. It does this weird boot. And I don't know if it's what it is. If it's what it does is it just returns to the boot screen. It doesn't actually turn off. It just goes there for a second, and then the OS reloads. The screen refreshes, everything on my phone, apps shut down, voice recorder. Here's my computer. See, I'm moving the dang mouse around. Completely froze up. I have never had this machine freeze. On top of that, the DSL modem has been blinking. I know that they have the ability to direct energy into the damn modem. I know that they have the ability to direct energy into my freaking computer. Nothing. I'm clearly typing. I'm moving the mouse. I'm hitting Control Delete over and over. Nothing works. I'm hitting. So it's completely froze up. And all these, I was looking at Modesto Police when they did it. And then there's my website. I also contacted the vice mayor, over in Richmond, who's going to call me back on Friday. They're having a meeting about me because they've agreed to try to help victims like me over in Richmond who are victims of electronic assault. And there's a Captain Mark Gagan. Alright, hold on. This thing's been locked up ever since I came down. I powered it off. The DSL just doesn't work on it. And I wondered if it's an attempt to cut us off from the internet and freeze up our computer, even if it's just a game. That white light is actually a red one. My cell phone could be the one that gets the most sabotage down here. It keeps doing that reboot, and it's not even a reboot. Like it's remotely controlled. And in Oregon, it didn't do that. I had the whole phone on for weeks, and it didn't do it once. And then I get down here, and it's doing it again. I've heard they have stingrays in Sacramento, in Florida, and they've been stingrays, the NSA devices, the police devices that fake that they're a cell phone tower, and they record all the data from my cell phone. And they make my phone connect to it. And, that's how they get all the information. There is software on these phones that might be remotely tamperable with, allowing reboots, initiating of recordings and video. And the Florida case was recently being looked at. Who is it? The U.S. Marshals and the police there in Florida, they had to admit they'd been lying to judges about the stingray usage, that they were denying that they were using them until they had a warrant. When they went to get a warrant, it's when they'd already been spying on people, and they already knew when to get a warrant. And every situation is like that, where they're doing the surveillance, and to cover it up in court and in the public record, they do not tell the truth when they go to get the warrant, how they got the information and the suspicion and the probable cause. And so they've been rigging processes. The district attorneys are involved, the police, the marshals, the FBI, CIA, NSA. They've also got radar that has hundreds of miles of range and space capability. It's called Black World Operations. And Snowden didn't disclose any of this crap. It was Russell Tice. He's the only one who's worked in this, and he says, look, Snowden got access to the lowest level of the system. And there's like 5 or 7 other programs that are above top secret. These are ECI and VRK or something, and SAP, Special Access Programs, and Black World, where only like 40 people at the NSA will even know what's going on, and only the people involved. And there's police all around. They're sworn to secrecy, the people who participate in these programs. And as a target of the government, they're working together like this to keep it a secret. And this could all, well, I've had them do this before. That's why I know it's real. In my house, they used to reset my cable modem, and it would just sit there and start blinking, and it would crash in the middle of doing something. They directed little energy beams into my laptop to either freeze the CPU or get the DVD drive to, it would not burn the disk when I was trying to make a backup. I was going to back up all the zero space and the so-called white unused space and then the used space. That way I could see if there's any bugs on my computer. And either when I tried to upload it, I had a boot disk, a DVD. I'd upload it by secure method to my website FTP, using encryption and all that, and it would always fail. The modem would usually start to flash right in the middle of it. Then my DVDs would get burnt, errors in them, like over and over, it'd fail every time. On the screen they could tamper with the pixels and shit, and that was directed energy beaming into the damn pixels. And you might see, you would see things wherever the energy was that could change the color a little bit, or it would get all warpy, you know. See, when I touch it, it gets all warpy. It was a little bit more sophisticated though, at the pixel level, not, you know, my whole finger level. And they would be threatening to destroy my screen. Well, they destroyed the hard drive in my Zoom. They didn't want me to listen to music, and I was just listening. I was working. I know there might be crash-prone devices, but I've got two Zunes, and they died the same way. And they didn't want me to listen to music. And microwaves or radiation into the damn hard drive would cause a failure, or something would happen. If it was, you know, I know it was happening. The screen on my cell phone got screwed up. They definitely were pissed. They didn't want me to use it. They were jamming it up. So in this part, it would get jammed up like there was something holding it all the time. After they did that so many times, it just stopped working. And I've still got that phone. The touch screen on it is busted. Guess what? Right out of nowhere, the damn DSL starts working. And I got it recorded right there. Just when I started talking about it. It's been off. So I think that they wanted me to have this evidence. I'm sitting here and I do have directed energy on my body too. That's how I know about this, that they can focus radar signals into your house. Radar signals are nothing but one of the delivery mechanisms of directed energy. Satellites are another. Satellites have interferometry. The radar has tomography. Building penetrating, ground penetrating tomography. That's really advanced stuff. That's like, it's taking what's in an MRI machine and putting it in a gigantic world scale open version. And have you ever seen those open MRIs at the doctor's office? I have a table right here in the middle of the room, and way over in the corner there's a couple of radar machines, and you'll be down the middle, and they're able to, it's for claustrophobic people, but that is a radar, a long range open version of MRI. The military has that, except it's on a larger scale. It works everywhere. and Dr. Robert Duncan, a big CIA operative, DOD. I always got to mention these sources because if I don't, people say, oh, you don't got any proof. Or they'll nitpick on it, and they don't know, they don't educate themselves before they slander another person. They're like, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. It is slander and defamation of character to all the trolls out there. If they open their mouth and say this ain't real when there's evidence sitting there, that is slander and defamation of character. You're deliberately in harassment, and you're basically harassing the individual who knows it's true. You don't know it's true, or you do know it's true, but you troll the person. You'll say, oh, well, none of this is real, and you'll, lie about it when there's military information out there about it. There's leaked documents, there's whistleblowers. 90% of the population, or it's like something like 50% to 70% of the population, up to 90%, will openly deny that this is possible. They are illiterate. They don't understand magnetism or electromagnetism or states of particles and energy, quantum mechanics. They don't understand even the basic levels of how the world holds itself together and how electronics work. I mean, electronics are just a device with controlled electronic and electromagnetic capabilities. We've met with the speed of light flowing through it so freaking fast, and we've managed to control the process a little bit so we can store if a bit's on and off, and if a pixel turns on and off. Our brain works in a similar fashion, moving particles around, storing on and off states, evoker potentials, controlling whether a neuron is firing or off. It's very complex, happening at the speed of light. In your brain and in your nerves. There's electrons flowing around. Everything's kind of bound together by electromagnetism. Everything. Alright, before my phone reboots, I guess I better go ahead and save it. My phone has a habit of, if the damn phone reboots in the middle of one of these things, then the whole fucking video doesn't save. Or the whole audio clip doesn't save. By the way, if you want another source of information that Americans are in the dark because none of the media has covered this, get on Google and type in Washington blog. And then Russell Tice. I'll just show you the article in the video, because it's actually like Washington blog. Russell. Boom, there it is. Exclusive report. This report is good because it says that Snowden didn't know shit about most of the systems in place that the goddamn government had. Echelon, they've been around for decades. Radar systems, Congress have been getting spied on since the 1970s, and this is all real, man. This is on PBS here. The damn inspector generals are stupid asses. They don't know shit. Or they're pretending not to know shit. Russell Tice is the black ops dude. He's the big boy. He knows everything. He knows about the remote brain reading stuff, the tomography stuff, the stuff they do with satellites. And you read this. Here's what it really says. Let's go down to where it says, ooh, what am I recording? Is that some type of directed energy? Fucking with the field of the screen? They're doing it. I mean, I felt a surge of energy. And then it kind of changed over to those lines. You see, that's a magnetic field. And I've heard about the CCD sensor inside these cameras. When you record direct energy, that's what we'll see, something like that. Either white kind of blobs or ghosts or orb looking things. This is, look at that. You see something moving. I don't know. I have to record with him without the energy to really tell. But if if it did that suddenly, I am feeling a little bit of a feel. That's the energy that they usually use on my body. Grid. Wow. It could also just be a recording disturbance. I mean, a monitor emits directed energy. Not to say I'm not experiencing direct energy, but Congressman spying hidden. Frank Church was being spied on. Phones tapped by NSA. This one's big. They would not even put their own NSA designators on the reports so that no one would know that it came from the NSA. They made the reports look like they were human intelligence reports. They did it to hide the fact that they were NSA and they were doing the collection. That's 40 years ago. The NSA and other agencies are still doing parallel construction, laundering information to hide the fact that the information is actually from mass surveillance. Now, what NSA is doing right now is that they're taking the information and they're putting it in much higher security level. It's called ECI, Exceptionally Controlled Information, and it's the Black program, which I was a specialist in, by the way. Russell Tice worked for the NSA, Air Force, DIA. I specialize in Black World, DoD, and IC, Intelligence Community, programs, operations, and missions, in VRKs, ECIs, and SAPs, STOs, SAP equals Special Access Program. It's highly unlikely Mr. Stone had any access to these. STO equals Special Technical Operations. It's highly unlikely Mr. Snowden had any access to these. Of course, because Snowden didn't expose shit but telephone and internet monitoring and a handful of stupid police toys. He didn't talk about space capability. He didn't talk about the radar systems or the decades of using that to spy and intercept communications. From space, they can intercept your cell phone or your Wi-Fi or your brainwaves. Any signal over a telephone line, over a copper cable, they can intercept that. They hack your DRAM, they hack your computer, they watch the missions from your monitor, from your keyboard when you're typing, because there's these electrical signals that can be, these impulses running through the cables that can be, are generating electromagnetic fields, and it's still readable from extremely long range. And that's what the Black World stuff is. And then what they're doing with the Black World, which is kept secret, right? And a lot of crime, kidnappings of people, torture, abusing them, controlling people. They use surveillance to find out how to manipulate other people, including society, including other countries. And Glenn Greenwald exposed that this was being used in the United Nations, that our own, even a low-level person, an ambassador, United States ambassador, UN, was using this NSA tech on them, to spy on them, get everything, learn how to manipulate them, and, control the United Nations. I mean, that's what's going on. Control other countries. Control the public, too. I mean, this is used to protect the rich. It's not about protecting American values or society. Just enough so that we won't revolt at best. They make it look like they're protecting us when they're not, type stuff. They won't ever admit that they're violating us. These programs typically have at least a requirement of 100 years until death. Well, there's a lot of stuff here, and Tice does discuss about how he did. Where is this? He's using satellites. I mean, this gets very secret. If you want to Google this and read it, and it's just really great. It's nothing I didn't know. I mean, Tice was saying in 2005 that he had information above and beyond surveillance with telephone and internet. And it was special access programs and something called remote neural monitoring and electronic brain link. That's the ability to scan your brain remotely. Oh yeah, there he is. He says it. I work special programs. And the way I found out is that I was working on special operation. And I needed information from NSA. From another unit. And when I went to that unit and I said, I need this information. And I dealt with satellite spy operations. I did that in the black world. I was a special operations officer. I would literally go do special missions that were in the black world, where I would travel overseas and do spooky stuff. You understand what spooky stuff is? It's like where they're in the know. They've got synthetic telepathy, special powers and shit, dude. They're reading brainwaves, they see through the walls, they know everything. They can tamper with your electronics. They can mess with people, they can kill them. I don't know. But they set the show with this. It could be covertly, subliminal. People don't even know they're being spooked and having something altered or changed. They don't even know. And then there's the people who get attacked with it and don't even know how it's happening. Don't even know what's happening. Or when they know it, they're like, they just never figure out what's going on. There's spooky stuff. They can down planes with direct energy. They can jam your garage door opener. They turn off your computer, turn it on. Tap things, key logging, get memories from your brain, alter your dreams, put in memories that you didn't know, or influence you with dreams and ideas that weren't your own. And they do that by heterodyning microwaves or radar signals into your brain at the synaptic level, altering. See, radar combines with brain waves. It creates a new field. The new field might have, and it's at the synaptic level, that field gets picked up and carried around the brain. It might have images and sound and emotions and thoughts and stuff in it. And at the energy level, the quantum mechanics of the world, that's possible. But people don't know it. People don't know that the world is all a bunch of dust. And that everything is recycled dust. Nothing dies. It still lives for freaking millions and billions of years. This planet, all the dinosaurs still exist on the planet Earth, for example, in the form of dust and material. The entire body of a dinosaur just turned into dust. You know, maybe it exists. Maybe it turned to oil, I don't know, or it turned to dust, or there's some bones. You don't understand, but the transition of matter, one form to another, is the same, and then life is animation through magnetic reactions and controlling and pushing and pulling particles around. And when you have that, and that's what life is, and then you have these electronic devices. All they're doing is creating an ability to tamper, increase or decrease energy fields remotely, read energy fields remotely, and at the atomic and subatomic level, from computers and humans alike, and the world. That's their most secretive technology. HARP and HIPPUS are part of it. There's these phased array antennas all over the world. They're in every country. They got them all over. There's some in Puerto Rico, some in Brazil. If you go over to Europe, I got a video on my site about Echelon, and they've got Google Earth down to the installations, and you'll see some of their installations. Let me show you NSA Echelon actually on Wikipedia, and they've got these little bases that look just like this all over. NSA Echelon, Wikipedia Echelon. I will show you. See that? These things are all over the planet, and these things allow spying remotely. Interception of signals. These might have the ability to read energy through the ionosphere, bounce radiation down, back and forth between here, and might go through the planet, ground penetrating technology. I don't know what these particular things even are. They're these spheres. I don't know. I haven't read about it. They have radar fields. They have about 32 satellites up in space. Those are just the ones in the launch database, pointed at Earth with super high resolution. The stuff that we image stars with from billions of light years away, we're using to image each other from space with. Read text from space. You could probably see the germs from space, and your neurons and all these signals at the smallest level, man. You can read microdots from space. Microdots. Those are small print. Take a letter and you print super small. The microdots. And can't usually be read without magnification. Probably read those from space. And so they have a system of fiber optic. Oh yeah, first of all, the ability to intercept communications depends on the medium used. They can intercept radio, satellite, microwave, cellular, fiber optic. High frequency shortwave radio was widely used for military. So all the technology that they used to use in the wars, they'd intercept communications from long range in another country, for example. And I'm talking about wirelessly, radio communications, phone communications. They've been using that on America, on their own countries, and nobody even knows. And the internet is by design not encrypted because it makes it easier to intercept. The only thing that protected people during the wars was encryption and secrecy. Which we don't have in America. So everything's usually by default unencrypted, easy to intercept from space. Everything by default, but I don't think encryption is that secure. I mean, they might copy your encryption certificate right from your computer, or they'll get the data before it's encrypted right from your computer. It's advanced that far. Alright, well, I've got some cool space images on my site. What you'll see is they beam down microwaves from space, and you'll see that they can image the surface with it. And point that at your house, and they'll see what's in your house. And they'll see your body. Unclothed body. They'll go a little deeper. They can maybe take a look at your heart. They'll look at the electrical activity in your heart and your brain, and your organs, and your nerves all around your body. There's no limit. There's no limit. No limit.